First and foremost, big, huge welcome, open arms, big smile. Love y'all. Y'all are my people. Welcome to Empowered Empath. This says embodied, but it's Empowered Empath experience. I'm super excited to pour into you tonight, like I mentioned, and look at this show on the road. So most of you might know me from Instagram, or maybe we've worked together in the past, crossed paths somehow, some way. But if you don't know me, my name is Monica, and I will be hosting us tonight. And I am the co-founder, co-CEO of a company called Heart-Led Leaders. I've been in the transformational space for over 6 years now, and I've been blessed enough to work with amazing corporations like Capital One, Lululemon, Gaia, Thrive Global. But honestly, my favorite thing is just to be with you all here today. Like, community is everything to me. And so I am no stranger to the transformational space. I've been in it for a long time. Had a brick and mortar meditation and conscious event studio, produced a festival, and I've certified over 60 people now with our signature certification. So I love this work, and what's been really pulling me forward is what we're here all doing tonight, and really honoring what it means to be an empath and giving support to empaths. It's something that really is it hits deep for me. It hits really deep for me. So I love all the work that I've done, but this right here just feels really potent and super alive. So I'm excited. It's resonated enough for you to show up tonight. And so with all that being said, just to get a basic understanding, right? What is an empath? And so I took the liberty of looking up some definitions, and I have my own. I'm sure you might have your own too. But an empath is a person with above and beyond ability to capture the mental and emotional state of another individual. Another definition describes it as the ability to understand and share the feelings of another. And I'm a geek, and I looked up the etymology, and it comes from Greek, and it means in feeling. And to me, that feels like that hits. You know, I feel like empaths walk with this superpower and this capability of feeling, like feeling deeply, feeling what another person is experiencing as if it's our own, and could even become physical. That's how deep feelings are for us. And so we live in a different, in my opinion, channel. We live on a different frequency. We like walk a little different here because we are feelers, baby. And I think that's a huge gift. And so if you're in this Zoom room right now, this is appropriate for you if you identify as an empath. Now getting a little bit of a terminology, if you will, around it. So if you identify as an empath, this room is for you. If you want to learn strategies for energy management because you consider yourself a forever student, this room is for you. And if you're tired of absorbing energy, if you're tired of lowering your boundaries, or maybe you don't even know what your boundaries are, let alone know how to hold them, you feel overwhelmed at times, or feel like you just want to be able to really trust your intuition. And I'm here to be the first one to tell you, like, you're not crazy. Like, you be knowing, okay? You be knowing, you be knowing. And so if any of that resonates with you, you're in the right room. And so as we begin officially, I would love to hear from you, and I would love for us to utilize the chat together so we all have a voice in the space. And I have some yes or no questions here. So just use the chat if this resonates with you as I read them off. First question: do you recognize that you are made a little different? Like, you just walk with a little bit different swag. Maybe they don't make you, you're a rare breed, but you just recognize, like, you just are maybe attuned to a different frequency, like I've been saying. Does that resonate? Do you feel like you were made a little different here? Yes. Yup. Beautiful. Do you remember having spiritual gifts as a young kid, as a child, but maybe you turn them off because you realize, wait, not everyone has this? Like, what do you mean? Like, you didn't pick up on that? Maybe you felt a little psychic, or you just knew things, or you had an imaginary friend that maybe wasn't so imaginary, or you just, oh my goodness, felt your family and you were just like, yes. And then you realize, like, wait a second. Y'all don't feel this? Is it like breathing to you? Like, am I just a fish out of water? Beautiful. Oh my goodness. And Hector says he embraced it when I was 11, which what a significant time to embrace it, right, y'all? Like the number 11, amazing. Okay, do you feel it all? Like, do you feel it all? Every room you walk into, whether the weather's changing, like you know it before it even, you need to look out your window, you know like what's happening with the dog, you just be knowing everything and you feel it. Does that resonate with you? Like you just be feeling everything, and maybe you even get a little like questionable looks about how much you feel. Like, does that resonate? Do you feel it all? Hector says drives me nuts sometimes. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it, brother. Absolutely. Okay, and just being really real, because I think there's a reason why we're all here tonight, and it's this idea that maybe it's been a struggle to be an empath, right? Hector already said sometimes it drives you nuts, but sometimes it's a struggle to be an empath and feel so much. But yeah, like it just feels sometimes like it be overwhelming, or it can be a burden, or it just feels like a little bit of a struggle. And last but not least, do you crave being supported and learning how to navigate these waters? Like having a community that gets it, and even beyond a community, like having guidance around what do your emotions mean? What are you picking up? How do you have boundaries? How do you hold boundaries? How do you stop absorbing other people's shit because you're not even meaning to, but it's unconscious and you're doing it and it hits you later in the day or maybe at night and you're just like, what just happened? This doesn't feel like mine, but yet I'm processing it and doing the work. What is up? Yes, amazing. Cool. So we're going to get into it tonight for sure. A lot of yeses, a lot of head nods. So we all are picking up what I'm putting down here. So if you answered yes to any of those or all of those, congratulations, you're an empath. And I'm literally obsessed with supporting empaths. Like obsessed is probably mild about how I feel about it. And there's deep reasons behind that. First and foremost, I truly believe at my core, that empaths were sent to this planet to uplift and reharmonize it. Why do I think that? And I don't think that just because it feels good to believe it. I feel it's truth in my bones to me. The reason why I believe that so deeply is because if we're empaths and we're believing that empaths mean in feeling, like tuned to feelings, understanding energies really deeply. And if you look at it on an elemental standpoint, they say that the emotions are really representative of water. And so this planet is 70% water. Our bodies are over 70% water. Our brain is so much water. We are attuned to this element of water, which is the feeling element. It's why we cry. We cry from our emotions, whether it's of joy and overwhelm and gratitude and just like, this is my life. This is astonishing. Those awe moments that bring you to tears, or those heartbreaking moments that bring you to tears of loss, of, feeling what it feels to be human at times. And I believe because we live on a planet that's mostly water, and because we're mostly water, I think we're actually attuned to reharmonize this planet. And I think that we are actually right on par. And I believe that maybe people aren't identifying themselves as empaths, but I believe that there's a lot of us out here. And we are here to help reharmonize this planet that is honestly in imbalance because we have so much fire and air. We have so much fire and air. We have so much war. We have so many guns being fired off, so many bombs being dropped off. Like, we are in so much fire and air, which is the mental body that is overriding our emotions for logic and having to know and having to prove and having to fact check and all of these things. And we give so much credit to logic and the mind and the mental body, which of course we need, but the way that society has done that is through actually demonizing our emotions and feelings and overriding what we're feeling, what we're picking up intuitively for, well, what are the facts? Like, can you prove that? And no, like it's the unseen, right? It's just like we feel what we're feeling. And so I believe that empaths are here to help reharmonize this planet because we are attuned to emotions, the water. And I believe that when we honor our emotions, when we honor every tear that wants to fall, every tear that wants to drop, we'll heal the oceans. Like, I believe everything touches everything. And I believe the moment that we start to embrace our feelings on a higher caliber, when we start to just speak about what we're feeling, honor what we're feeling, recognize that it's a power, that we start to then harmonize. It's always inner outer. So once we do the work, I believe it shows up on the macro as well. So I truly believe that empaths are here to help reharmonize this planet on an elemental standpoint. Does that make sense? Let me know in the chat if that made sense. A lot of fire, a lot of air here, very masculine. And I think we need more of that feminine, those feelings, that water, like cleanse them. And the second reason I believe empaths are a catalyst for the world changing into this heaven on earth idea, right? And I believe that's because to take action and make radical change that this planet is asking for, right? Our communities are asking for, ourselves are asking for, like so many things that we look at, like need radical changing. And I believe empaths are here because how are we going to change? I don't believe it's going to change through more mental facts. Like we've had that, we know statistics, we know, but what moves us to make a change, what really motivates us, what really puts a fire under our asses to get something done is emotions. Like that's what gets it. It's not knowing, it's not the mental body that will ever persuade you to make a change. It is your emotions. It's either like, I've had enough, I want to make a change, or this is painful, I want to make a change, or this is amazing, how do I keep doing this? I'm going to stay on this track. Like whatever it is, it's from emotions. That is a catalyst. And so I believe empaths are the catalyst for making the changes we want to see in our personal lives and on the greater scale. And then lastly, but I can think of 100 reasons why I believe in empaths so much and I'm obsessed with supporting them. But I also believe once empaths learn how to wield this gift, like truly this superpower, this gift of being able to pick up on what's happening around you, I think you become unshakable heart-led leaders. I think it's inevitable. I think once we own this gift and this superpower and we walk and we embrace who we are and we embrace this immense blessing that we have, I believe we become unshakable because there's some kind of resilience. There's this inner knowing, there's this self-trust and this co-creation with the elements, with the energies around us. And we just feel the support that we have and we really become unshakable. And so that's what I'm here for. And so the hard pill sometimes to swallow is that the only way, I believe, the only way for exponential growth is by owning the fact of being an empath. You know, not demonizing it, not making it wrong, not like wishing it away, feeling it's a burden. No, it's owning it. It's like instead of you feeling like it owns you, you own it. And you start to use it as this gift and to start learning how to manage it, you know, because we do need some tools to be able to manage this gift as an empath. And I believe the best way to do it is by being an empath through empowered empath, like being truly empowered from the inside out. And so I'll explain more about what I mean by that. But that's like the first thing is like we get to own this and we get to use it as like a crown placed on your head, you know, like you're a king or a queen of the unseen realm. Like you have an amazing advisory board. Your unseen team is no joke. And so owning it instead of feeling like it's a burden is the first shift that I think is absolutely critical, like so critical for us to have to be able to grow. Okay, so with all that being said, I love to share with you on a deeper way why this journey of being an empath is so significant for me. And this story, I'm gonna have to bring you back 4 years ago. And I was in Texas at my grandfather's house, this little humble home. And he had just passed away. He had just crossed over. And if you knew my grandfather, we call him Poppy. And he was the epitome of the grandfather archetype, like super wise. He lived to 100 years old, fam. Like this man knew things. Like he was super wise, and he was just the the epitome of a grandfather that was just wise, loving, like looked into his eyes, you asked him a question and it was just like truth, like undeniable. I'm like, yeah, he knows. And so I was at his home. I was with all of my aunts and my uncles. We're all dressed in black. We're gonna head out to the church for his services. And it was it was like Hollywood couldn't have scripted as beautiful as it was. So we walk out of his house, we get into the car, and it starts to rain. And so you just see like this drama. It was like as if the world was in black and white. We're all in black. It starts to rain, which I've like been to Texas thousands of times, and it's not like known to rain that much. But anyways, we're in the car, we're heading over. And as we step out of the car, we arrive to this church, this huge rainbow from his house. I'm not kidding y'all, from his house all the way to the church was this massive rainbow. And we all get out of the car, the rain stops, and we all look at each other and we see this massive rainbow. And we just knew this is a huge sign. Like he's good. He's telling us like, I'm good, I'm in heaven. I've passed like graciously, like you don't need to mourn me. You know, I've lived my life and honor me. And so it was a beautiful ceremony. We all shared so many beautiful stories about him, and it was remarkable. I mean, it was a miracle, honestly. And I have a picture here to show you. This is the picture. And I felt like, wow, that's ordained. Like, wow, what a symbol, like what a man. Even when he's passed over, he's making sure his family knows like I'm good, right? And so that night I go to spend the night with my cousin. My cousin, her name's Ashley. Me and her are so similar. I love her to death. And she has a son and a husband. And I was like, I can't wait to just spend time and play with my, you know, her son, my cousin, who's like literally the cutest button in the world. I was so looking forward to spending time with them. And so we drive to her house that night. I go to sleep, and the next day, it was as if I was bedridden. Like I felt completely paralyzed and I could barely open my eyes. And I remember like asking my cousin, like, what did we eat? Like, why do I feel this way? Like I barely could feel my consciousness, to be honest with you. And I felt like I had the weight of the entire world on my body. And I couldn't understand why. And eventually it dawned on me that I had taken all of the residual grief from my family unknowingly, completely unconsciously. And now I was processing it, like my body had taken it on. And it was through that experience and a few others, to be honest, that I recognized that this is not how I can live. You know, this is not a way to live my life. And I can't do this, especially because my work is so important to me. I know I'm meant to be in the transformational space. And if I'm taken out to this degree, like, how am I going to serve? How am I going to show up? How am I even just going to like live my life and enjoy time with my family? I never even got to spend any time with them. Like my flight was the next day, you know? So it was really hard, you know, and went out and I looked for mentors and I tried my best to find ways to really cope with being an empath and understand, like, how do I stop absorbing? I don't even know I'm doing it, right? Like, you don't even know you're doing it until it hits you and it hits you. And I really tried. I tried to find guidance. I tried to find someone that understood, and what I received just didn't work for me. Like, maybe it's just me, but it seemed like there was a lot around protecting my energy and this idea of protection that came from this underlying fear and this underlying victimhood of I can't handle feeling everything. And so I need to protect myself. I need to cut myself off from this experience, which is exactly why this is like exactly the opposite of why I think empaths are here. I don't believe in subscribing to more separation. I don't believe in subscribing to more cutting ourselves off from feeling. And so I literally threw everything out the window that I was learning because it wasn't working for me. So that was easy to do. And I just said, I'm just going to figure this out, trial by error. I'm going to figure this out. And it took a long time, but I finally found distinctions that really resonated with me and practices and strategies that allowed me to not absorb other people's shit, to become it. I feel like I'm an extroverted empath and to really move through life without feeling like I could be taken out. Obviously that story was a deep one, but there's many occasions where it was either really big or subtle, but it's just, I'm not here for it. I'm not here for any type of victimhood. I'm not feeling like I'm here to like give any of my power away, especially one that I feel like is so impactful. And so once I learned these strategies, these distinctions for myself, my life radically upgraded. Like, I'm not kidding you. My life radically upgraded because all of that energy that I was once using to take and absorb and process for the world around me, I had more space, I had more room. And from that was the year I opened up Montclair Zen Studio. Some of you, I see you in the chat, I see you in the Zoom, like you've been there. I opened up my dream business. I had a beautiful space where I led meditations every day, had events every weekend. Talk about holding space. I was running at least 3 meditations every single day and was coaching, started the certification training. Like, what ended up happening, led Radiance Festival, led huge groups of people. And before then, like, I would be so intimidated to do that because I would be in fear, I'd be in worry that I might pick up other people's ish. And so this is why it's so important to me, because on the other side of really learning how to energy manage, how to honor yourself, like, I'm not so much here for protection, I'm here for honoring yourself, and I'm here for having yourself set standards that are like appropriate, and really shift this, because I don't think that we're here to absorb. I think we're here to impact. I think we're here to influence and reharmonize. And so that's why this is so meaningful to me. And it took me years, it took me years of trial and error to find these practices and to be a true empowered empath and to really stop absorbing other people's shit. So I'm excited to share some of that with you tonight. And luckily, I've been able to already help some clients, and it's been so amazing. I know one testimonial I received was this beautiful woman. I'll keep her name private, but she said, I tried the practice you taught with my family. And now that I had to stay with them for the holidays, this was super recent. This was like last month, and it's radically changed and improved our relationship. I'm so thankful. Like, that's amazing to be able to improve your relationship with your family, because family is your biggest growth point. We all think we're enlightened until we spend a week with our family, and I'm included in that. And so that to me is everything. That means that's the most rewarding thing I could ever receive. And so with that, I want to talk about a little bit about why empaths unconsciously absorb. Why do we even do that in the first place? Like, what's up? And the first thing that I've really come to see is that it came into the field. It could be, there's a few potentials, but one of the potentials is it was a survival mechanism. And so perhaps as a child, you grew up in an environment where there was uncertainty to some degree. It doesn't have to be major, it could have been, or it could have been subtle, but maybe there was just uncertainty. There was turmoil, there was bickering, and there's fights, or there was something that you started to develop the awareness to be able to pick up on subtleties, so you knew how to not get in trouble, or so you knew how to not be in the room when you knew something was about to blow up, or you started to see and pick up on so many subtleties and such awareness, acuity, to be able to defend yourself in a sense. It was a survival mechanism. That's one way that becoming an empath gets amplified. And I see that quite often. It starts, you really used it as a skill, as a set point. Another thing is that we unconsciously absorb because of this societal way of operating that says feelings are nuisances. And so we feel as though if a feeling is a nuisance and I'm feeling, maybe I can do the work for other people. It's like this subtle ability to feel like, oh, like this isn't acceptable, but like I know how to do this. So I'll pick it up for you. And it's an energetic thing, there's no words, there's no like obvious way of being able to like physically do it, but it becomes physical. And then the thing that I see is like sacrificing unity for the illusion of separation, like really thinking that first of all, we can ever do the work for somebody else because we can't, and that's not love. And there's this subtlety, this distinction of, are we loving someone through empowerment and letting them know on an energetic way, just the way we're talking with them, being with them? Are we letting them know like, hey, you might be going through something that's really difficult and challenging and obstacle, but I know you got this. Like, I know so much growth is on the other side for you. I know you're going to learn so much. You're going to gain wisdom and strength. And this is just a part of your story. On the other side, I know you. I know you're going to get through this. Like, this is nothing. Like, you're so strong. You're so wise. That's empowering love. But there's this other way that sometimes creeps in, which is actually pitying somebody and doing the subtlety of like, oh man, I'm so sorry, and dropping the frequency of like, you can like hold someone high and like know and champion them, or you can pity them and drop their frequency and believe that this is victimhood, this is the end, you don't have control, I'm so sorry for you. And that doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good for anybody. And it's subtle, but it's impactful. And so with that, we get to really hold a timeline for people, like knowing everyone gets through everything, everyone's on their journey, and recognizing that they're gonna have to go through their lessons. Like, we can't do that for them. Even if we are thinking we're absorbing and processing for them, we're not. They need to figure it out, and they need to go on their path for themselves, just like we all do. And I wouldn't give like my darkest nights of the soul, like I wouldn't give that up for anything, because it gave me so much strength. And so people get to work through their own challenges. And we don't have to feel like we need to do it for them, because we really don't. And that's loving them. Like, that's actually love. Anything else is not real love. And so I had the beautiful opportunity recently of presenting Empowered Empath training to a group of people in Morocco, Marrakesh. And it was really incredible because all of you have already signed up because you're like, I'm an empath. But I put this out to everybody that was there, and the people who showed up didn't identify as empaths. Like, not all of them really did. And it was just human beings, it was executives, it was experience designers. I had a singer, I had an artist, I had investors, I had hotel owners, hoteliers, and I was really curious about that because, like I said, I think there's a lot of empaths walking around who maybe don't qualify themselves as empaths, but I be knowing that they're empathic, right? And 80% before they came had this inner conflict, like this feeling of like, yeah, I pick up energies, or, I have this inner conflict of things that arise within me. 100% of them had a transformational shift. 100% of them had a relationship with themselves completely, like, positively changed. And 100% of them started to embrace environments they once avoided. Like, one of them actually came to a breathwork class the next day and felt for the first time, it was like, she was sharing with me that she felt comfortable enough to actually step back into a breathwork session, because in the past she felt like it would have taken her out, because she has picked up other people's energies before. And so, huge, right? Like, amazing, we get to do this. And so there's quite a few different tactics and strategies that I have, but the ones that I put together here, there's 3 out of about 12 that I've delivered. And so the first one falls under the category of honoring thyself and recognizing that our feelings are angels. Our feelings are angels. And each feeling you get is a hidden treasure. And to develop deep emotional intelligence, it's truly an opportunity to know and honor yourself on a deeper level. And so I always say it's not about feeling good all the time. Like that's really not the goal. The goal is to be good at feeling. You know, what is this? What is behind this? What are you trying to teach me? What is here? I believe that our feelings, the emotions that are coming up and surfacing are telling us something. It's either something that we get to heal, we get to look at, we get to rewrite the story, or it's a signal of a yes, go forward, or no, this isn't for you. But the more we get to uncover those hidden treasures, really hear what our feelings are telling us, the more we get to walk through this life with grace and with such reverence for what's coming up. And so really recognizing this development of emotional mastery and emotional intelligence and taking the time to really recognize them. It's huge. The second falls under knowing thyself, and it's around boundaries, boundary bravery, I call it, because when as empaths, sometimes we weren't our feelings weren't taken seriously, you know, or we didn't know how to express ourselves. We didn't know how to have certain standards and boundaries for ourselves. And so you set your boundaries and then we actually get to hold them. And it reminds me of, I don't know if you guys watch Seinfeld, but do you ever see the one episode where he reserves a rental car and he goes there and they don't have a rental car for him? And she's like, we have your reservation. And he says, it seems like you're really good at taking reservations, but it's the holding of the reservation that actually matters. And so we're setting boundaries, but we're not actually holding them, which is our responsibility. It's not the world, it's our responsibility. Then like they're pointless. It's not the point of declaring them in our mental body. It's about actually holding them and creating stand-ins for our life. And that's on us to do. Like that's on us to walk away with for things that don't work for us and to move into the directions that we know are going to nourish us. And so we get to put ourselves at a higher priority, which feels uncomfortable for empaths because we've learned to put other people before us. And so it will feel uncomfortable. And it might even feel brash at first when you start to really take this on, but it's life-changing. And I promise you, on the receiving end, it's not brash. It's actually quite honorable, you know, to know yourself and to hold boundaries and to put yourself at a higher priority because you matter. And as much as we can feel what other people are going through and empathize and have compassion and even hold space, we get to do that for ourselves. We really get to honor ourselves. And so boundaries, knowing thyself. And the last one, which is the one we'll get into tonight together, we'll do a little exercise together. And it's really around mastery, and it's mastering thyself. And so it's more about, instead of feeling like we go into rooms and we are absorbing, it's about influencing and going into the rooms and impacting the room and walking into each room you enter like the blessing that you are, my friend, my family. Like, be the blessing there and love the room. If you're going into a space and it feels chaotic, it feels disharmony, it feels like negative or whatever have you, like, instead of feeling like, oh my gosh, this is too much, I like can't handle this, like, yes, you can. Like, you've been sent there. You know what peace feels like. You know what alignment feels like. You know what love feels like. And so you get to be the influence of that room. You get to send that frequency out because God bless everyone in that room. I hope that they feel what it feels like to have alignment because you do. That's how you could pick up on the disharmony. So instead of feeling like you're absorbing it, which is just like obviously not the most loving thing, it's not true love, empower that room, influence that room, call it out, you know? If you're having a conversation, even being like, hey, like I feel I'm picking up on something, like, are you? I'm telling you, 10 times out of 10, somebody else is feeling it too. And to voice it and to just speak it out and give someone else an opportunity to say how they're feeling and clear it without you taking it on is such a gift. And that's like going above and beyond. You could just do it energetically. And I feel like that is the biggest key. It's like going to the room and choosing, are you going to influence or are you going to absorb? Please influence, you know, because absorbing is not putting yourself first. It's not helping the other people. And we need you. Like, you can't be taken out of the game. Like, come on, you're a real one. You're A1. And so we'll go into meditation around how we can really be that blessing on an energetic level. And we'll do that now. If I have your permission, I'll guide us. You get to just sit back and receive. And my only ask is that you allow yourself to go as deep and as big as you possibly can. And so give yourself the gift of fully receiving and fully dropping in. And it'll be beautiful, right? It'll be beautiful for us to just be together, share some space. And so I'm going to play 2 songs, so you'll hear it shift, just so you know now. Okay. And so wherever you are, I invite you to just get into a comfortable position, get any last second wiggles out. And as you do, I invite you to start taking some deep breaths and check in, like check in right now. How are you feeling in this now moment? And I like to place my hand over my heart and take a deep exhale out through my mouth. And taking 3 deep breaths together before we begin. Closing the eyes, taking a deep breath in through the nose, inhale in. Opening the mouth, exhaling, letting it all go. 2 more, just like that. Deep inhale all the way in through the nose. Opening the mouth, exhaling all the way out. One more deep breath in. Exhaling all the way out. Allowing yourself to just feel your heartbeats, deepen your breath, and relaxing the muscles in your face, relaxing the eyebrows, dropping the jaw, dropping the shoulders, letting go of any holding, allowing gravity to take a little bit more room around you. Allowing yourself to listen to this beautiful sound, this activation, as you take some deep breaths into the heart.
What does it mean to trust? It means to have such inner knowing that your thoughts create your world, to simply be quite certain, with divine nonchalance and inner knowing, that if you think of something, it is. Emotion is the key to all of this. As human beings, you need emotion to connect you with your spiritual self, because emotion generates feeling. You need emotions to comprehend the non-physical, which is why emotions have been so controlled upon this planet. Most human beings are afraid of their emotional or feeling center. They are afraid to feel. trust your feelings no matter what they are. When you are not afraid of feeling and you move past judgment and allow yourself to feel all the ways you feel, you will have a tremendous breakthrough. You must learn to love your emotions. We speak to you as if you are not human, because to us, you are not. To us, you are members of the family of light.
And just feeling what's coming up for you. Slowly breathing into the center of the heart as if you could ride your breath into the center of your heart. Taking a deep inhale in through the nose. And with your awareness, sending it to the center of your heart. Exhaling all the way out. 4 more, just like that. Deep inhale, riding the breath into the center of your heart. All the way out. Deep, deep, deep inhale in. Exhaling all the way out. Deep inhale in. Deep exhale out. And using your mind's eye, using your awareness, imagine you can ride this breath to the back of your heart and open the back door of your heart. And seeing and feeling and sensing yourself take 1 step forward, 2 steps forward. And feeling the subtle shifts of what it feels like to be at the center of your own heart. And feeling this beautiful heart that beats for you, that knows you so deeply, so intimately, knows all the deepest desires of your heart, knows what's at the bottom of your heart, the truth of all truths for yourself. And sending gratitude and love to this beautiful, beautiful beacon and quantum doorway to all of your feelings. And for thanking yourself, thanking your heart for picking up on so many energies and being able to have the capacity to feel in a time where feelings are so pivotal. Thanking yourself. And thanking yourself for having the bigness to want to support others, and for having the courage to receive support for yourself and own the fact that you are an intuitive genius. You walk into rooms and can see and sense and feel what is not being said. That is genius. No one needs to tell you, you know. Thanking yourself for having the capacity to hold this superpower. and accepting all the times you've absorbed unknowingly, wanting to do it from a place of love, accepting all the times it felt like a burden, accepting all the times it felt hard, and recognizing now that that's not the true story. The true story is that you are meant to bless the rooms, bless yourself, honor yourself, know yourself, master yourself. And through beautiful gratitude, acceptance, compassion, imagining that from the center of your heart there is a beautiful light beam. And this light beam is glowing and glistening, shining, beautiful radiance. And this light beam takes on a beautiful shape of a rose blooming. And as you feel and sense this beautiful, radiant, brilliant rose of light blooming, allow it to begin to grow, blooming and growing past your heart, into the top of your chest, into your throat, passing your shoulders above your head, above the sides of your body, the left and the right, growing towards the bottom of your feet until you're entirely encapsulated in this glowing white, brilliant rose of light, all starting from the center of your heart. And as you feel yourself inside this beautiful white rose, imagine it beginning to pulse like a heartbeat, pulsating. And sending this pure, loving energy from an overflow of wisdom, of strength, being the blessing, allowing it to pour into all sentient beings, especially the ones that are joining you right now in this call, all empaths. May we all own this gift. May we all claim this superpower and trust and honor it as such. Allowing yourself to feel the blessing of others onto you from this call. Holding each other to the highest timeline of empowerment, holding each other to the highest timeline of being a blessing and being a true influencer, an influencer of energy. Sending out to this beautiful planet we call home, we call Earth. May all people know themselves, honor themselves, and master themselves. Taking a deep breath in, exhaling all the way out. And starting to sense the back of you, the front of you, and the space all around you that has now been blessed through your intention, through your energy. Starting to feel the room you're in, the temperature of the room, how this room now feels. You did that. And softly starting to take 3 deep breaths, slowly pulling your awareness back into the room. Deep inhale in, exhaling out. Maybe rolling your shoulders back, giving yourself a stretch. Taking 2 more deep breaths. Deep inhale in, deep exhale out. And one more as you begin to blink your eyes open. Taking all the time you need to come back. Welcome back. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Beautiful. Some of you just feel super relaxed, like in a groove. It's an honor to witness. And so just taking a moment to just recognize and see all these beautiful faces, all of these people behind these screens that have such big hearts to bless the world alongside you and to own their gift. Like, we're all in this family, and I honor each and every one of you, and just take a moment to just look around to the different faces here and just send some presence and recognition to, like, I see you. I see you. And with that being said, I'm curious, was this helpful? You can let me know in the chat if this was helpful. You know, do you learn something? Do you feel any differently? My word for 2022 is outpour. So I hope that I was able to outpour from my overflow over to y'all and that it was helpful. So if I have your permission, I would love to just take 10 minutes to share with you an opportunity, if that's cool with you. Nice. I'm happy that it was helpful to y'all. Amazing. Cool. So is it cool if I take 10 more minutes? Is that good, fam? Awesome. All right. So I do have so much more to give, and it's honestly really hard for me to put a presentation together to fit it in like the 60, 70-minute mark. It was really a challenge because I just like, I want to tell them all of it right now. But that would not be actually injustice for you, because we would shock the system. And so I do have a signature training coming out if you feel like you'd like some more support, or perhaps you maybe even know somebody. So I will tell you all about it. It is called Empowered Empath. It's a 12-week training on how to be an empowered empath and rise in your leadership. And so what that looks like is that it's really a 3-part training. So there's curriculum. It's a 12-lesson training on how to be an empowered empath through those 3 powerful chapters I was sharing: know thyself, honor thyself, master thyself. And then we have weekly coaching calls, which are a little bit different like this, but same kind of energy. But what those really look like is that we come on these Zoom calls as a collective, And there's hot seat coaching, there's Q&A, and there's also ceremonies. So really dropping in, I believe in the power of a collective prayer and the power of community. And that brings us to the third point, which is we also are a community. So we would have a private not Facebook group, private WhatsApp group, so we can exchange throughout the week and just share all of the different insights that are coming alive for us. So curriculum, coaching, community. And if you're thinking that maybe I still don't get it, like, no, Monica, you don't get me, like I do. I really do. And being in community will help you begin to recognize how powerful you are, because we're all mirrors of each other. And truly, you're not alone. And if community alone can radically shift your journey, I promise you, when you're around people that vibe the same way, like that in itself is such a transformation. Maybe you're thinking I don't have time or I don't have the money to do this. I honestly, personally, truly believe you're wasting time and energy by going without support and going without encouragement. And the time spent here is so sweet. And you see, like, this call is almost over. Like, it's sweet, it's savory. Like, you want to be a part of something like this, and you'll actually crave more time. Like, you're not sacrificing time. I'll get into the money part. I made it extremely affordable. And I'm committed to your growth. Like, you'll see results. I promise you. I'm committed to your growth. I'm not new to this game. I know how to coach, encourage, and be there for people. And I have a container that was my beta with about 5 people in it, and their results are amazing. So there's that. The question that you could start to ponder is what's possible for you when you become an empowered empath? Better relationships, more peace, less stress, less stress, like that's everything. Empowerment, encouragement, greater impact, greater self-esteem, higher standard for quality of life. You gain a community, and the amount of friendships that I have been able to blossom speak for themselves. More purpose, more fun, more joy. I'm here for joy. So you're going to get that. Okay, talking about the money part, money, honey. Okay, so the curriculum valued $997 easy. There's so many courses out there that are way more expensive around different topics, but course space is at least $997 from what I see from my research. Weekly coaching, honestly, coaching with me is $5K minimum half the time. Like, if that's usually a one-on-one container, which is the price that's set, but coaching with me is at least $5K. And then community, private group of empaths, $997 easily. I've did some research of like other memberships that are out there, and that's all you get. And they're at least 1,000, like minimum. And so those are the values, but those aren't my price points. That altogether would be $6,994. But my price is $1,997. And so really, I took so much off because I'm just here for it. Like, I'm so here for this mission, and I really am excited to share this with you. So the prices are a bit different. It's $497 for the curriculum, the classes that are live videos, live coaching, $1,250. And the price of community, I don't even like to put a price on that because it's literally priceless. So it's $197. And then there's a total value off of $4,997. Like, that's crazy, family. So today it's yours for $1,997. And there's also flexibility. And so we can also do payment plans. I'm happy to do that. You still get everything, but it just maybe makes it a little bit more digestible. And that looks like 4 monthly payments. So every month it'd be $550. If you pay in full, you save over $200. So there is incentive to paying in full if that's something that you could do. And I have a bonus. So there's 2 other workshops that I've done that have been extremely successful, and they're so much fun. One is the Abundance Masterclass, really reshaping your dialogue, your relationship with money, especially empaths. Man, standing for yourself, standing for your worth, charging what you're worth is like a big deal. And just in general, having a better money relationship goes so far. So I'm including that as a bonus, and a vision casting workshop, which really helps you get clear on what it is you want and what it is that your deepest desires to see that come into fruition. And so maybe this is the sign you've been praying for and waiting for and hoping for, like, someone help me as an empath, I need it. This maybe is your sign. This is the signature process. So I made that clear. It's really honoring thyself, knowing thyself, mastering thyself. These are the subcategories. So I won't go into all of them, but it's a lot of what we touched on, how to set boundaries, how to really influence the room. We did a beautiful meditation, but there's way more that comes. And a lot of beautiful ways to just be this empowered empath. And I'm excited. I'm super excited to share. How it works is you'll get training videos. They drop weekly and you get to watch those on your own, as well as meditations. And then the weekly calls are live coaching and ceremony calls. And those get to be a lot of fun and get to be a place where you thrive in community and hot seat coaching. So who are you without Empowered Empath? Who are you with Empowered Empath? What could happen? What could shift? I'm willing to bet quite a bit. And so if you're into it, let me know. I'll give you the link and you can sign up on the inside and get it going. We officially are taking enrollments right now. So it's really exciting. Feel into your heart and do it. Feel into your heart and do it. It's a beautiful space to be in. I know this community is going to be amazing. I can already feel into it. And so just tap into your heart. Your heart will tell you every time, like, go down the timeline of you joining. What does that feel like? What does your life look like after 12 weeks in a container like this with me? And what does that do for your life? And then tap in if you say no. What does that feel like? Where is your life 12 weeks from now? Is it the same? Like, tap into it, because I'm not here to convince you, but your heart will tell you if this is right for you. And I only want what's best for your heart, what's on your heart. And so with all of that, fall in love with being an empowered empath, fall in love, own it, rock it. I am so excited this was helpful. Thank you for your time, for your energy, for being here. It's been so incredible. And I'm just really happy that, thank you, Reese. I appreciate you too. And I'm just super happy to be really connected with all of you guys and ladies. So that's it. I will be on here if there's any questions that you have around anything that I shared. And if you want to join, I'd love to have you. And so I will drop the link for you to be able to sign up. And like I said, there's some bonuses if you sign up tonight. So the bonus of the abundance class, vision casting workshop, we'll get that. So I'll open the floor up to anybody here that wants to jam. I have another 5 or 10 minutes. But if not, if you're hopping off, good night. Blessings to you. It's been so fun. And I'm sending you so much love.